Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we're going to be reviewing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 31-17 win versus the Carolina Panthers. The Buccaneers are now 1-1. The Carolina Panthers have fallen 2-0-2. Tom Brady got his first win as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Shout out to him for that. That is awesome. And let's go over this, okay? Let's start off by talking about the good, as we always do. And the first player that I want to mention is Antoine Winfield Jr., the young rookie who had a very good game. He had 11 tackles on the game. That was second most on the entire team. 1 sack and 1 forced fumble on said sack. So he had a really good game, in my opinion, for a rookie, for a second-round draft pick. Now, you guys know how much I love Antoine Winfield Jr. I thought he was a first-round talent. I was stunned when we got him in the second round, and it's making dividends, okay? He's playing just to the pedigree that his dad left him with, and he's looking really good for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers early. This is his second solid game in a row, and it seems like he did better in this game than he did in the first game. So I'm really excited for Antoine Winfield Jr., not just for the rest of this season, but just for the rest of his career with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you know, for the rest of just his rookie contract alone, not even counting time after his rookie contract. So Antoine Winfield Jr., really good game to start. He's looking good in run defense. He's looking good as a blitzing safety. He's looking good in pass coverage as well. He's all over the field. He's got a great nose for the football, and he's just good, okay? He's really good for a rookie. You can't even really tell he's a rookie. He's out there playing like a veteran safety right now, and I think he's going to be phenomenal for many years to come. So shout out to you, Antoine Winfield Jr. Another player I want to highlight real quick, Jordan Whitehead, who finished with 5 total tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and 1 interception, as well as 1 pass deflection. Jordan Whitehead got the first interception off of Teddy Bridgewater. I believe it was a deflected pass. I can't remember off the top of my head, but still really good on Jordan Whitehead to get an interception. I thought he played okay in week 1, but he definitely played very good in week 2 as well. Him and Antoine Winfield Jr. had a very good group game together as the 2 starting safeties, and yeah, shout out to Jordan Whitehead for getting a turnover. That's absolutely awesome. Next player I want to shout out is going to be wide receiver Mike Evans, who finished the game with 10 targets, 7 receptions, 104 yards, and 1 touchdown. He was basically the entire receiving core for this team, minus a couple of the running backs, and we will talk about that in a little bit, but Mike Evans was awesome. Chris Godwin was not in this game due to a concussion, so other guys had to step up. Obviously, Mike Evans, he's the top guy anyway, so we expected him to do some pretty good things, and do some pretty good things he did. He went up against guys like Dante Jackson and Troy Pride Jr. and got 104 yards and a touchdown out of it. It was great. It was absolutely awesome, and I love to see it. He really could have had a better game. He did have a drop here or there, and we will talk about that in a little bit, but Mike Evans was freaking phenomenal. This was a great Mike Evans game, and you know, this is a game that gives me hope that he is going to have another 1,000-yard season and, you know, just break the NFL record for that, because it's Mike Evans, and Mike Evans is amazing. So next player I want to highlight, Tom Brady, the quarterback, finished the day with 23 completions out of 35 attempts, 217 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Really, Tom Brady should have had better stats in this game, okay? He probably should have had 2 more touchdowns, and we will talk about that. Don't you worry when we get to the bad category, but Tom Brady played a lot better than his stats indicated. He had a great game. He really did. He didn't play bad in week 1 either, but in week 2, it seemed like things were clicking more. He was having more chemistry with his offensive line. He was having more chemistry with his wide receiver core. And when Chris Godwin comes back from his concussion and Tom Brady is more acclimated to this offense even more so, it's going to be pretty deadly in my opinion. Tom looked a lot more comfortable in this game than he did in week 1, and it showed in my opinion. So shout out to Tom Brady. It seems like he's getting more comfortable as time is going on. Next player to mention, Ndamukong Suh, who finished the game with 5 total tackles, 2 sacks, and 2 tackles for loss. Great game by Suh. I saw some people say in week 1 that he was kind of a non-factor. Not the case in week 2. He did a very good job of applying pressure on Teddy Bridgewater, moving the pocket, really just bullying some of these offensive linemen that the Carolina Panthers had. And he was a big factor in stopping a guy like Christian McCaffrey on the day in terms of run defense, as well as even containing him a little bit in the passing game as well. Suh was a big part of that. So shout out to Ndamukong Suh. He pressured the quarterback. He helped out with run defense. He pretty much did everything we expect him to do, which is great. Good job, Ndamukong Suh. Next player, Devin White, who finished the day with a team-leading 15 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and 1 pass deflection. Again, Devin White is Devin White. He's all over the field. He's amazing. He's a team captain for a reason. Him and Lavonte David, they could be the best linebacking duo in the NFL. And I'm not saying that because we just won. I'm saying that because they're really good at the game of football, that being Devin White and Lavonte David. So Devin White's off to an amazing start to the season so far. He's racking up the tackles. I think he had 11 last game, 15 in this game. Awesome stuff. If he stays healthy, phenomenal year for Devin White coming up. I'm not going to say defensive player of the year or anything like that. He would probably have to get some interceptions, get some sacks in there as well, but he's having a great year, and I think that he could finish the year as one of the better linebackers in the entire NFL. And I'm including all the younger guys and all the veteran guys as well, so shout out to Devin White. Next player is his running mate there in the middle of the defense, Lavonte David, 9 tackles on the day. Overall solid day from Lavonte David. I don't think he'd had as good of a week 2 as he did in week 1, but still, very solid day from Lavonte David. Like I said in the preview video, him and Devin White really helped with containing Christian McCaffrey in a large way. They made sure he was only getting 2 or 3 yards per clip. And, shout out to Lavonte David and Devin White for really being those 2 guys who were just really containing Christian McCaffrey, because that was huge for the overall flow of the game. Next player, William Golston, who finished the day with 2 tackles, however, 1 sack and 1 tackle for loss. I put him on there just because he got the sack and a tackle for loss. William Golston's having a good start to his year so far. He had a good week 1, he had a good week 2. Keep it up, Will Golston. The guy's underrated in my opinion. I thought he could have been maybe a cap casualty this offseason. Was not the case. And hey, he's proven, me wrong. He's doing very good. Shout out to William Golston there. I'm giving credit where credit is due. He is doing very, very good and really picking up where he left off last year in terms of his run defense. But right now he's incorporating pass rush in there as well. So good stuff. Next player I want to shout out is my hashtag #1 cornerback, Carlton Davis, who finished the game with 5 total tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 1 interception, and 2 pass deflections. Now, I love Carlton Davis. You all know this. I've loved Carlton Davis for years now. He's one of my favorite players on this entire team, and I gave him my stamp of Carlton Davis is going to be a star this offseason. This is going to be his breakout year. So far, so good. He locked down Michael Thomas in week 1. He did a very good job in week 2. They were not targeting him a lot, in my opinion. He got an interception. He got 2 more pass deflections. He did a little bit in the run game. Carlton Davis is doing great, and he's really solidifying himself as the #1 cornerback of this Tampa Bay Buccaneers roster. I mean, some of us already knew he was gonna be, but he's showing everybody that, yeah, he is a #1 corner. He can lock down some guys and just be really, really good. So Carlton Davis had, yet again, another phenomenal game. 2 games in a row now. Let's hope he can keep it going. Next thing I want to point out is the turnovers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense had 4 turnovers on the day. They had 2 interceptions, 1 by Jordan Whitehead, 1 by Carlton Davis, what is exactly what I said. They had a fumble forced by Antoine Winfield Jr., which was recovered by, I believe, Jason Pierre-Paul, and then Lavonte David had a forced fumble on Robbie Anderson, which he recovered as well. So 4 turnovers from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. That's awesome. Let's hope that can keep on going as well. Next thing I do want to shout out, special teams. I'm going to make this quick. Ryan Suckup made all of his field goals. He made all of his extra points. It was absolutely awesome. Bradley Pinion had 4 punts today. 2 of them were inside the 20, and every single kickoff that I believe Bradley Pinion did today was a touchback. So That's good. That's amazing special teams. Jadon Mickens didn't really get a chance to do anything with punt or kick returning today. Hopefully he gets a chance to show what he can do and bust one of those returns for a long gain or even a touchdown. But overall, special teams insanely improved in this game. Finally, guys, the last couple of things I do want to shout out is fewer penalties. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers only finished this game with 5. Good work. Let's keep it going. Ronald Jones had a good game, in my opinion. 7 carries, 23 yards, a touchdown, 3.3 yards a carry. But the star of the running back room was Leonard Fournette, who finished this game 12 carries, 103 yards, 2 touchdowns. I saw some people saying that he has just solidified himself as the starting running back. Could maybe be the case. We will have to wait and see how these snaps shake up here in week 3. But overall, I thought that both the running backs looked good. But Leonard Fournette put the dagger, obviously, on the final run of the game where he had, what was it, like a 60-yard run or something like that? Maybe even longer. He might have had a 70 or 80-yard run. But Leonard Fournette is the latest 100-yard rusher for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers since Doug Martin in, get this, 2015. It's been 5 years since the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have had a 100-yard rusher. Leonard Fournette is now the guy who is the latest Tampa Bay Buccaneer to rush for 100 yards in a game. Shout out to him for that, because that is awesome. So with that, guys, that's pretty much all of the good. Now we're going to go ahead and transition to some of the bad things that happened here. First things first, the Ronald Jones fumble that happened. This could be one of the reasons as to why Leonard Fournette will be taking snaps away from Ronald Jones. Again, we'll have to wait and see. I'm still a big fan of Ronald Jones. I'm also a big fan of Leonard Fournette as well, but we're just going to have to wait and see. I'm not really going to be biased towards that situation. But Ronald Jones fumble here. It was just a matter of it hit him right here in the arm. Fumble, recovered by the Panthers. Just a simple mistake. We just got to clean that up. Rob Gronkowski didn't have a very good game, in my opinion. Now, I talked earlier about the Tom Brady interception. It kind of hovered right above Rob Gronkowski's hand. He tried to put a hand up, didn't really get to it, and it resulted in an interception. Now, I'm going to say that was a little bit on Tom Brady, a little bit on Rob Gronkowski on his overall awareness of where the ball is being thrown. So, yeah, Rob Gronkowski just needs to do a little bit better. They need to use him a little bit more. I think he needs to get more comfortable in this offense, because right now they're using him a lot as a blocking tight end, and he's not really being used for much else. So I need to see more of Rob Gronkowski, because otherwise, what was the point of trading a draft pick for him? And I know he can be good. I've seen him be good before. I think he can be good now. I don't think he's hampered or anything, aside from the fact that he's still learning the offense. I don't think he's hurt or anything. It's just we need to see more of him. I don't really know how that can be achieved. Probably with play calling, probably with Tom Brady targeting him more. But I do want to see more of Rob Gronkowski, specifically in the red zone, because I think that's where he could truly shine. Next thing I want to highlight, run blocking. The run blocking still didn't do good. I know Leonard Fournette had 100 yards rushing in this game and 2 touchdowns. Ronald Jones had a touchdown as well. That's 3 rushing touchdowns on the game. But there were still way too many moments when there was tackles for loss or getting swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. And I'm going to save some judgment here on a lot of these offensive linemen. I am going to go back and rewatch the game in a condensed form, basically do a film study again, kind of like what I did last week when I posted in the community tab about my Donovan Smith review. But I am going to go back and I am going to look at the run blocking and the pass blocking for the offensive line. But I still think that the run blocking should be improved. The pass blocking was better in this game, but the run blocking can certainly be a lot better as well. Cyril Grayson also didn't necessarily have a great game. He got hit right in the head by a pass with Tom Brady, did not catch it. It could have potentially been for a touchdown if he would have caught that and kept on going. So that's unfortunate. You really hate to see that for a guy like Cyril Grayson. Hopefully he can rebound somewhere in the future, but that one was tough to see. The screen game does need to improve for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We do need to see some more screens from this team. I guess what I should say is that we should see screens better executed. Some of the wide receiver screens that the Buccaneers do work, but some of these running back screens are just not happening. And I think a lot of it is because half of the running back not knowing where to go, or sometimes just flat out falling down, and sometimes the offensive line isn't getting there quick enough. So we need to be a little bit better executing the screen game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because really, I think the screen game could work for this team with, guys like LeSean McCoy, Leonard Fournette, and Ronald Jones. It could definitely work. We just need to see a little bit more chemistry and communication with that screen game, and I think that that could be such a dangerous element to this offense. Finally, guys, the last thing that we're going to be looking at here, drops. We had a lot of them. Mike Evans had a drop or two in this game. LeSean McCoy had 2 drops in this game. He dropped a wide open touchdown that Tom Brady should have had. That was what I was alluding to earlier, where Tom Brady should have had at least another touchdown in this game. LeSean McCoy dropped a touchdown. Cyril Grayson dropped a touchdown. I want to say there was at least 5 drops in this game from the team as a whole. If that, would have been cleaned up, Tom Brady would have had a very good stat line, and this would have been an insanely different game. Like, this game should not really have been 31-7. This game really should have been more points from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It was just a matter of drops, unfortunately. This game, the Bucs could have scored 40 if there weren't drops. Unfortunately, the drops did happen, and we need to clean those up a little bit, and I'm sure that will come with time. But yeah, definitely need to clean up the drops so we can score some more points. But guys, that's really going to be it for this overall review. The last thing I do want to mention here is that the communication looked a lot better from the offensive side of the football and the special team side of the football from week 1 to week 2, and I'm very, very, very happy to see that. I thought that was going to happen coming into this game, but I'm very happy to see that actually be put into motion, and I just expect things to get better here in the coming weeks from week 3 and onward. So overall, a huge improvement from the Saints game. Looked a lot cleaner. Not perfect by any means. I do think we still have a lot more room for improvement, but hey, a win's a win. The Buccaneers defense got 4 turnovers. The offense looked pretty darn good. The running game had 3 total touchdowns. Tom Brady had a passing touchdown, and yeah, it was a pretty balanced game from this team. I think the offense can tap a little bit more into its potential. We've just got to clean up some of those drops and, continue to work on that communication and whatnot. But guys, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know what you thought about this review and the game down in the comments section below. I will be having more videos coming out this upcoming week talking about this next game that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will have. And yeah. Hope you guys all enjoyed this video. We're going to have Victory Monday tomorrow, Victory Week. Hope you guys all have a great week, and I will see you in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs!